Welcome to Jon C. Maxwell's special online event with Onggy Hianata. You'll discover what every successful network marketer does that sparks massive growth in their business and in their life. Hi, I'm Meredith Sims, president of Jon Maxwell's Consumer Division. I'm excited to be here with you for this really crucial, incredibly impactful time with Jon Maxwell and Onggy. Jon is a friend of mine, and he's a friend of yours when it comes to answering this question: how do you make tomorrow better than today? Jon's been teaching leadership and personal growth principles for over 40 years, and today he's going to share with you the one thing that will change everything, the one thing that will accelerate your success more than anything else. Do you know what it is? No, it's not a bigger prospect list or a new product. It's simple, but Jon says it's the one thing he knows is true, and it's your personal growth. I know it seems like an easy answer, but I'll tell you this: it takes practice, practice, practice to live it out daily. And there's no one that knows how to do this and teach you this better than Dr. Jon C. Maxwell. Here's what I know. Jon's best-selling book, The 15 Laws of Growth, was a turning point for me as a leader because it categorized the areas of and grow beyond my wildest dreams. If we as leaders can understand and take action on these 15 laws, then our potential is unlimited. Jon has spent hundreds of hours developing new content based on the 15 laws. Today, you are going to hear Jon teach a brand new lesson on one of the most impactful laws of growth, and you're going to learn key principles you'll need every day to be consistent to reach your peak potential. He is intentionally growing every day, making every day better, and he desires to help you do the same. And get this, you won't just hear it from Jon. Today you'll also learn from Onggy on his life-changing takeaway from Jon's incredible laws of growth. Today is about you. You're here today because you want to expand your business, reach your peak potential, and push the limits of success in your network marketing company. You want to answer the question: how do I grow my business and reach the top of my company? The answer is growth every day. As former editor-in-chief of Success from Home magazine, I've interviewed hundreds of leaders in the network marketing industry, and I know you have the desire to reach financial freedom, spend more time with your family, get your time back, impact people, and truly gain independence. But how do you do it? Better, how do you do it more effectively? How do you stay relevant and keep growing so you attain what you want the most out of life? We'll spend about an hour together today with Jon answering that question. And I know you'll step away feeling energized and equipped with the best next step you need to grab a hold of your potential and experience massive growth. Don't check out, don't sit back, take notes, be engaged, and start to see the incredible possibilities that are out there for you when you act on this one thing: growth, your growth. And by the way, you'll want to watch this special event from start to finish because Jon and Onggy have a very special gift they want to give everyone learning with them today. Now, how's that for an incentive to pay attention? Jon and I will share more with you at the end of the event, so stick around. All right, enjoy Jon, his jokes, his heart, and most importantly, his wise words. I'll catch you after the seminar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the stage Dr. Jon C. Maxwell.
Thank you. Wow, thank you very much. Good morning. I have good people around me, and they really allow me to do what I can do well, and where I am today in my life is because of the people I have around me. Good team. That's what you want, isn't it? A good team. Good, develop people around you. And Jamie and Meredith, of course, I have Mark, my CEO, right down here on the front, and some of the key people of our organization. I want to thank them because they've done all the work. I'm just kind of hanging with you. I'm going to teach you today. We're going to learn a lot. We're going to grow. Gosh, I know what's happening. I know what's going to happen. It's going to be good. It's just going to be good. It's, you know, and I didn't say it's going to be great. I said it's going to be good. There's a difference. For you direct marketers, everything's great. So I'm going to settle you down real quick and kind of level you out a little bit, okay? It's going to be good. You see, nothing is great until a life is changed. You do understand that. So you can have a good conference. You can't have a great conference. Great is only what they do with it after the conference. You can have a good book, but the book becomes great when it changes the life. And so many times we count our victories before we have victories. We count our victories because we just looked good when we walked across the stage. And everybody clapped and everybody was happy, and we thought, oh my gosh, what a good conference. Everything escalates and gets better when the people get better. And if the people don't get better, it wasn't that good. And if the people don't change, if the people don't grow, and if the people just aren't reproducing, it never becomes great. See, leaders understand greatness begins with them and what they teach and inspire their people to be and do. But the result of greatness is in the proof of the people. It's in the people. So if you say, well, I'm a great leader, well, how many great leaders have you reproduced? So you're not a great leader because you have followers. You're a great leader because you've reproduced leaders. And so this is going to be a huge day. I'm promising you're going to fill pages of notes. Not just a page or two. I don't know who does that, but you're going to fill pages of notes. You're going to have to you're going to have to go straight from here to a massage therapist. You're going to say, just work the hand, work the hand. We just work the hand. I've been taking a lot of notes because one of the things we do in the John Maxwell Company, it's a reputation of mine to give you more than you can handle. You with me? Do you ever go to hear somebody speak and you just kind of sit there for a while and kind of hope for a miracle? You know what I mean? You just say, I know it will sometime get better. And you know, and have you ever sometimes one just walk up and say, you know what, you're not very good. Let me give you a couple thoughts here. Just say these, it'll help you. It'll take you to a new level, huh? Now, the reason I say that is we work very hard. You're here by invitation. I mean, we do these things quite a bit. We've got to pack this thing out many, many times. But we just said, no, we want the right people in the room. When we want the right people in the room because then it reproduces itself. So I've worked hard. I'm going to do the laws of growth. I'm curious, how many of you have the book, 15 Laws of Growth? Raise your hand. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. That's very good. You notice I didn't ask how many of you had read it? I'm delighted today to talk to you about some of the laws of leadership. And the first one I want to talk to you about is truly the first one I should talk to you about. Now, there are 15 of them, but you have to understand there's one that I think is foundational for the other 14. Not more important, but foundational, and that's the law of intentionality. And that's where we're going to begin today. The law of intentionality just basically says growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow is going to get better. Oh, isn't that good? If you're going to grow, and if I'm going to grow, we're going to grow intentionally. Now, I'm talking to leaders today. I love talking to people that lead many people. And to be honest with you, if I could just literally come off the stage and I could get real close to you and we could have kind of like a one-on-one conversation. There are two questions that I would ask you, and the two questions I'm about to ask you will really determine how successful you're going to be in this business, without any question. These are the two questions. It's not like there's 3 or there's 4 or there's 7. There's 2, okay? Just trust me on this. I'm an old man. I know this. I've been around the block a few times. And there are 2 questions that if you can answer in a positive way about yourself, you're going to be very successful. And if you really cannot answer that in a positive way, to be honest with you, you're not going to be near as successful as you would like to be. The first question is very simple. What are you doing to develop yourself? And if you'd say, my gosh, John, I'll tell you right now, I'm doing a lot to develop myself. I've got a personal growth plan, and I'm intentional in this, and I'm doing this on a daily deal. If you could say that to me, then I'd say, hey, we're in good shape here. We're in good shape, because that's the key. You know, what are you doing to develop yourself? And by the way, The reason that's first is not because you want to be selfish. It's kind of like almost a selfish question. The person says, well, why do I start with myself? The reason you start with yourself is because you cannot give what you do not have. So you better start with yourself. Because if you're leading others and have nothing to give them, nothing to share with them, nothing to teach them, then I can promise you, you'll never be what you want to be as a leader. And I can promise you that after 40 years of personal growth, the secret of any success, if I've had any success at all, the secret of that success has been personal growth in my life. And growth has literally placed me where I am. So what are you doing to develop yourself? It's a huge question. And the 15 laws of 15 laws of personal growth, basically these laws are all about developing yourself and developing the second question, what are you doing to develop others? You see, on the first question, you're foundational for your future. The second question is all about compounding, multiplication. That's where you build a huge business, when you know how to develop other people. And what we have to understand about the law of intentionality is that you cannot develop yourself and you cannot develop your people unless you're intentional. And I discovered that in my 20s when I sat down and had breakfast with a guy named Kirk Campmeyer at the Holiday Inn in Lancaster, Ohio, and he asked me the question, John, do you have a plan for personal growth in your life? Didn't have a plan. Didn't know I was supposed to have a plan. Nobody ever told me I was supposed to have a plan. I graduated. I was working hard, doing my very best to reach my potential, but nobody ever walked in my life until Kirk Campmeyer did and said, John, do you have a plan for personal growth in your life? And I didn't have one. I was embarrassed. I thought back then I had to have answers. And so I acted as if I did, and that didn't really work very long. I was kind of like a plane circling an airfield trying to come in for a landing. Found I just shut up and landed that plane. And he looked at me, and I'll never forget, he said, you don't have a plan, do you? And I said, no, I don't have a plan. And then he said to me, John, growth is not automatic. If you're going to have to grow, you're going to have to grow on purpose. That day, my life was changed. What Kurt was saying is, if you're going to grow, you have to be intentional. I mean, it starts with me. So look at the person you're seated beside and just say to them, this will kind of be like a get acquainted time with him. Just look at him and say, you really need to improve. Go ahead and tell me that, right? You really need. Now, wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun? Isn't it fun just look at somebody and say, you know what, you really need to improve? Yeah, it just rolls naturally off the tongue. Now look right back at him and say, I need to improve. Now you said that with a lot less enthusiasm. I mean, did you hear that? I mean, when I said, tell the other person you need to improve, I mean, it was loud. You need to improve. Yeah, well, yeah. I need to improve. Yeah, I need to improve. Now, the problem is we have what I call growth gaps. The reason that we're not intentional in our growing is there are just some gaps that keep us from getting to where we need to go. And I'm going to give you about a half a dozen of them really quickly. The first one is the assumption gap. And the assumption gap just basically says, I assume that I'll grow automatically. You see, most people, they live by assumption. 99% of people today are just assuming, that somehow they'll get better. Very sad, folks, very sad. Because let me tell you something about assumption. Assumption is a huge disappointment in life. You show me a person that assumes, and I'll show you a person that almost daily is disappointed. So, the first gap is a gap that leaves many people short, and that's just the pure assumption gap. The second one is the knowledge gap. And the knowledge gap is basically, I don't know how to grow. And we've all been there. In other words, okay, I know that I need to be intentional in my growth, but I really don't know how to grow. I've been there. Now, I brought something with me today that's very special. It's a kit, and I'm just so pleased to have this because this kit is very important to me. Now it cost me $799, and I got this kit. I got this kit back in the 1970s. Okay, and this was my first personal growth kit. It's Dynamics of Personal Goal Setting by Paul Meyer, Personal Success Planner, and I was so excited. It cost $799. Now you have to understand, I made about $800 a month. So get the picture. It took me 6 months to buy this kit. I saved up. We didn't have credit cards back then, and I just saved up and worked hard. And it took me 6 months before I had enough cash to buy this kit. And I was so excited when I got it. And I mean, I opened it all up, and this is just amazing. You'll just see some things here that just crack you up. It had, for some of you young people who've never seen this before, they're called cassette tapes. And I remember taking the first cassette tape out, putting it on my little cassette player, opening this up. Oh my gosh, this was so wonderful. That wasn't. They had page by page plans. I go through the plans and listen to the tapes and go through the plans, listen to the tape, go to the plans, listen to the tape. This was my first growth experience. And the ROI on this $799 kit, it's worth millions of dollars to me. Yeah, you heard me right. Millions of dollars. And experiences and a lifetime of growth. And what's interesting is, now here's what I want you to hear. The value of this kit, the content was good, but that wasn't the value. The content was good. But as I look back now, I say, what made this so special? What made this so special is very simple. This is the kit that got me started. Hear me out. The value of what you do for people is not so much what you give to them as much as it challenges them to get started. Getting started is absolutely the key to life. And by the time I finished going through this personal growth kit, by the time that was all finished, I had 6 months of day in, day out personal growth. And what it did is it developed a habit in my life. And by the time I finished with that kit, now I'm used to spending time every day in personal growth. It got me started. I mean, this is worth this whole lesson if you can just get this. The reason I'm so passionate about personal growth is personal growth keeps me prepared. In other words, if I'm continually growing, I continue developing myself, and I'm continually learning, and I'm continually doing new things and going to another step higher, can I tell you what that is? That constant growth is the preparation for the opportunity. So when the opportunity comes, here's the way. You don't go into an opportunity, you grow into an opportunity. And so I'm passionate about personal growth because for that person who says, wow, I had an opportunity, I wasn't ready. If you're growing, you're always ready. Because after I intentionally started growing, I made a commitment to grow as a leader. I started writing, I became an author. I developed growth resources for other people. I founded my first company. I began training conferences. Everything I can think of that has ever been good in my life was a result of the fact that I started personal growth in my life. I know I'm known for leadership. I understand that. But my passion in life, more than anything else, is personal growth. Because if you grow personally, you can be a great leader. But if you don't grow personally, you can't be a good leader. Everything in life that you're ever going to want is based upon your ability to develop yourself. So Kurt Kampmeyer said, John, you can't just accidentally grow. You got to grow on purpose. And so I started. And I got to thinking yesterday when I was getting ready to, kind of my last preparation for this lesson, I got started. And guess what? When I got started, let me tell you what I didn't have. I didn't have experience. I didn't have knowledge. I did not have a model. I did not have a mentor. I did not have a plan. I did not have a fellow traveler. I did not have resources. I did not have money. I did not have a growth environment. But I got started. You don't stop or not start because of what you don't have. You don't start because you don't realize yet that the fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. There's nothing easy in life, worthwhile in life. Everything is uphill that's worthwhile. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh my gosh, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult. So how do we go from growth doesn't just happen to making growth happen? Now, here's the practic, and you just don't want to miss this because I'm going to give you some stuff right now. This is pure gold, okay? This is so good, I hardly want to give it to you. And the reason I hardly want to give it to you is because it's so good, I don't want you to misuse it. So look at the person you're sitting beside and just say, take notes and don't mess up. Just tell them that. Just take notes and don't mess up, okay? I'm going to give you an intentional growth plan right now. It's just so simple. Let's go. Okay, here's my intentional growth plan. Number one, make a commitment to intentionally grow. That's where it starts. You say, well, John, that seems really simple. Make a commitment to intentionally grow. Guess what? It's really simple. But can I tell you something? When Kurt Kampmeyer looked across that breakfast table and told me that if I was going to grow, I was going to have to grow on purpose. And I looked at him and I said, I'm going to start growing on purpose. Something happened within me. Something happened within me that just changed my life. It was just a simple commitment. Nothing that I thought at that time was going to change my life, but it was just a simple commitment. I'm going to grow. I'm going to grow intentionally. And it starts there. I want every one of you. I want every one of you, for yourself, for the people that you lead, make that commitment to intentionally grow. Number two, make that commitment public. A commitment that is not public is worthless. Because let me tell you something. We all have a tendency to stray. We all have a tendency to give up. We all have a tendency to get off course. Come on. But the moment that we start making it public, I can remember I couldn't afford that kit that I showed you. And I said, can you give me 30 minutes? And I lived where we were having our breakfast was close to the house. I said, I've got to show this. I got to take this and show it to Margaret. And I said, I ran home and I got to the kitchen table and I said, we can't afford this. It's $799. And we can't afford it, and so I've got to take it right back, but I just want to show you what we're going to save our money for. And we got it all out and got those cassettes out, and we looked at the material real quickly, and I put it back in the box, and I went back there. But then I told my friends, I began telling my friends, guess what? I've made a commitment to personally grow. There's something beautiful about a shared commitment. A shared commitment becomes a strong commitment. Number three, identify the areas that you want to grow personally in. Identify them. In other words, sit down and say, okay, where am I going to grow specifically? Now, I'm going to help you here. When you start identifying the areas that you're going to grow in, it should be at least 2 and no more than 5. 5's probably a little heavy. But it has to be at least 2. You say, well, how about just focusing on 1? Let me tell you why. You want to grow in an area of choice, and you want to grow in an area of skill. So that's 2. So when I'm talking about an area of choice, I'm talking about maybe your attitude. That's a choice, isn't it? So I want to grow in an area of choice. Maybe it's discipline. And I want to grow in an area of skill. So for me, I started off with attitude and speaking. because I was speaking. I was a pastor. I want to be a better communicator. So I said, okay, speaking, that's a skill. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on my attitude. So identify what are the two areas at least that you're going to grow in. And then number 4, invest 1 hour a day in those two areas. Every day, including Sundays. Every day, 7 days, 7/24, 7. Every day. Okay, and when you spend that hour, I'm going to even tell you how to spend the hour. You spend the hour this way. Here's the way it works. Preparation, practice, reflection. Preparation, practice, reflection. Preparation, practice, reflection. Preparation, practice, reflection. You do it every day. Whether it's your choice or whether it's your skill. You prepare a little bit, practice a little bit, reflect a little bit. Every day. You're going to find this is just huge for your life. Now, while I was doing all of that preparation, practice, reflection, while I was doing all that on my speaking, I was starting to go observe communicators. And when I would listen to somebody speak, I wouldn't listen too much about what the subject was. It really didn't matter. I was asking myself one question the whole time I would listen to them speak, and the question was, are they connecting with their audience? And I would write down, if they were not connecting, why they were not, and if they were connecting, why they were. In about 2 years, I became a master in understanding how to connect with an audience. Because I studied it, and I would listen, and I would watch, and I would observe, and I would come away and say, they did 3 things that were just powerful. Okay, I got to go practice that. Okay, prepare, practice, reflect. And I would just work on that. And this is the cycle that I worked, okay? Number 5, invest 1 hour a week on reflection and writing on what you're learning. To take an hour every week and say, okay, for the last 7 days, this is what I've been practicing, this is what I've been preparing for, this is what I've been reflecting, and start that. Now let me tell you the secret on this. Because I'm kind of now talking about writing, I'm talking about maybe journaling a little bit. Let me tell you something. Don't try to journal a lot. Start with jotting. Jot before you journal. See, I jot every day. I don't journal every day, but I jot every day. 4 or 5 words. Oh my gosh, they're just mental kicks for me, okay? And then at the end of the week, you may have like 12 jots down. You with me? And you go get those jots, and you say, okay, now I'm going to spend 35 minutes. I'm going to start writing. What did that mean to me? Just jot and then journal. And then number 7, this is huge. No, I'm sorry. And then number 6, share your growth with someone. Every week, find somebody that you can share your growth with. And let me tell you how this works. You sit down with, I want to tell you what I'm learning. I want to tell you how I'm growing. Now, here's how this works. This is beautiful. When you share your growth with someone, if they're happy, do it the next week. You with me? Oh, they okay. Well, let me share. Can I share with you now? See, so if they're happy, keep sharing. If they're not happy, start moving. Don't ever spend time with people that aren't thrilled with your progress. The friends I dropped in my early years, were those people that weren't thrilled with my progress. Are you with me? They weren't thrilled at all with my progress. Those are the ones I left behind. I got some new friends. That's what you got to do. Because let me tell you something. If you become intentional in your growth, you'll outgrow almost everybody you know. Everything I have today is because I have good people around me. Everything. You want to talk about any area of my success in my life, and what I'll do immediately is I'll give you the names of people. The names of people who are gifted better than I am, who complete me, who complement me, who add value to me, who make a difference for me, and they do it with such consistency, they do it with such care, they do it with such kindness, they do it with such love, and they just do it, and they do it all the time, and it's humbling to me. It's humbling to me. I mean, this is a perfect example. When I walked out to teach you today, this is the first time I was here to teach. I mean, I did nothing. I didn't set up any cameras. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any email. I didn't do anything. I didn't do any. They just said, Jon, could you get ready to teach the 15 laws? So I've been over there writing and teaching the 15, working on it, upgrading, doing everything else. But everything that you're enjoying today, outside of this teaching, has been done by others. And I can tell you right now, when I die, they can put on my tombstone, a whole bunch of people made that man. Because they have. And I'm grateful. And I wouldn't be near where I am today if it was not for them. And in fact, Meredith Sims, who is behind all of the online courses and the digital projects, this lady has come into our life and she's just absolutely taken us to a level that couldn't get there without her. Now, let me tell you something. Same teaching, same ability to teach, same giftedness, same material, same content, but all of a sudden you get somebody that's really good. And what do? They multiply you. And you say, man, I didn't know I was that good. And they said, you weren't. You weren't. You just happened to have somebody that knew how to take what you had and multiply it and take it up to, they're elevator people. They take you to a higher level. I got a whole bunch of people, they're elevator people. I get on the elevator, they just push numbers and I just keep going higher. And she's one of them. And in a moment, I'm going to throw this back to her because I just value her. And I not only value her, but I value what she does, not only for me, but what she does for you. And she'll talk about an online class that we're doing that's just very, very exciting to me. And you got to understand also that, this is just one law. My gosh, there are 15 of them. And so you say, wow, that was kind of helpful. I learned something from that. Well, here's a thought. If you learn really good from one, maybe you ought to do the other 14. Just a thought. Don't want to expand your mind too great. You know what I mean? But it's just a thought. And she's also going to come out. She's going to offer you something really special, just a scholarship, something for you. And I'm excited about this because everything we're doing is to add value to you. And so, would you do me a just do me a favor? I hope by the end of this day you'll love and appreciate her like I do. But would you just give Meredith a good hand for what she's done today?
Okay, please tell me I'm not the only one with like 8 pages of notes. And we're not even through with what we have for you today. Like Jon said, you have to buy in on the dream and buy in on the action. Onggy is a great example of a top-level leader who doesn't just dream big about his potential, but he acts on it consistently. But it all started for Onggy with, you guessed it, an investment in personal growth. Onggy has taken Jon's laws of growth to heart, and it has really impacted his business. He is going to give you amazing takeaways to grow your own business. And this is just the beginning. Jon Maxwell impacted Onggy and hundreds of thousands of network marketing leaders all across the world. But he's not done. Jon is in legacy mode. He wants to create a legacy, and he wants to do it through you. Jon is passionate about leaders like you in this industry and wants to help you grow exponentially to maximize your impact. That's why Jon and these industry leaders partnered together to form the 15 Laws of Growth 12-week online class with a concentration in network marketing to teach you, a huge potential leader, the laws of growth, the practical steps that you need to take to create massive success in your personal life and in your network marketing business. Jon partnered with these leaders because they are doing it every day. These leaders understand why they need to invest in their personal growth to grow their business, and they're going to teach you. I'll tell you more about how you can join in for the complete online class in just a minute, but for now, get a taste of the passion and unbelievable insight from Onggy. Let's check it out.
Hi, my name is Onggy Hianata. I come from Jakarta, Indonesia. Nice to meet you today. First of all, I want to thank God for this opportunity. That's why I can be here to share with you my humble experience. And I also want to thank fantastic Dr. Jon C. Maxwell and his team, and also Multiply organization. You also fantastic, Jamie and Ned, invite me into this forum. Today, I will share with you the law of contribution. You know, in this industry, it's very funny. The beginner, sometimes they have so many frustration, and it's not only the beginner. Sometimes they're already in the business for 5 years, even 10 years. They're also facing the same thing, frustration. You know why this happened? If you read the book of Jon C. Maxwell, the 15th law of growth, one of the laws say, law of contribution. In this law, saying that giving, and giving. Even Jon C. Maxwell himself, at the very beginning, in his story, when he learning about the growth at the beginning, he also mentioned that his motivation is very selfish. In this industry, you see, human born to be selfish. You see the small kids, when they have the toys, they play, then somebody take the toys, they grab back and they fight. This is what we call a little bit selfish ego over there. The same thing in our industry. For example, if you're a beginner, if you invite people, your friends, maybe your family, your relative, your good friends especially, when they reject you, you feel so sad. Why? Because you are receiving. You hope that you receive something from the prospect. That's why you're so disappointed. If you have this concept of giving, whether they receive you, meaning they join you, or they reject you, you don't feel sad. Why I say so? Because my own personal experience. My personal experience at the very beginning, when I invite especially my good friend, when they say something bad about this business, then they rejected me. Wow, you know, the feeling so, wow, it's not good. And I feel sad at that time. Like Jon C. Maxwell said, during the journey that we are learning, the process, we are growing and growing during the process. Then I learned something that actually when we put so high expectation, when the expectation, we don't achieve the expectation, then we feel disappointed. Because our expectation is receiving, it's not giving. If we apply this law, giving, and giving, so we don't mind. People reject you or whatever, because our purpose is helping people. For example, when you sell the product, the purpose, what is the purpose? You want to get money from the person, or you want to help them to grow better health? Or when you just say you offer the business opportunity, you want to grow them in the financial, mentally, even spiritual. If the main point is to giving, contribute, so they reject you, is okay. So after the process, I learned. Today I can say I'm okay. If I invite anybody, when they say yes, I'm happy. If they say no, I'm also happy. I mean it now, today, during the so long process. Just now I say the beginner. How about the people after so many years in the industry? Sometimes the business is stuck. They're so frustrated. The reason why, because most of the people, the focus, dream, selfish dream, like Jon C. Maxwell say in his book. Most of our dream that we want to buy the beautiful car, beautiful homes, travel all around the world. Is that wrong? No, we need the dream. But if the dream is selfish only for me, for myself, that is why our action follow our dream. If the dream is selfish, our result also frustration. So the meaning, what now, how to solve this problem? I like this title of the book, 15 Law of Growth. One of the laws say contribution. So what does it mean? Meaning, I contribute. So how I contribute? The way I contribute is I should build myself first. Like Jon C Maxwell say, John say that growing yourself enable you to grow other. That is totally correct. I build myself before I build other people. Sometimes people, they are so frustrated because they think something wrong because of the downland, of the upland, of the company, of the environment, even of the prospect. Wow, actually nothing to do with that. Everything to do is you. Build yourself, then start to build other people. Then I say, why they after 5 years, even 10 years, they are frustrated? Because the focus, they want to earn, to receive, to achieve the dream is a selfish dream. If the focus you build people, you don't care the small group or the big group of your organization. Am I correct? If you love people, if you contribute, your focus is build the people. It's not focus on the money that you will earn. Of course, we understand in the business payment, you will receive the income when both sides grow equally. Or if one group starts slow, one group grow big, then of course the money will stuck there. Most of the networker, based on my experience, when the big group grow faster, this group small, so they pay more attention to the small group. Why? Because they have the selfish dream. If you dream to build people, to help people, you don't care actually. Big group, small group, same. Apply the same equal treatment to them. If you have the equal treatment to them, of course, they feel good. Both sides feel good, and the energy is so fantastic. And when the energy is so good, they feel good. Of course, the teamwork becomes stronger and stronger. When the teamwork stronger and stronger, even I can say, from the growing big group, then this big group can affect the small group positively. Because you should use this energy to build a small group. I'm not teaching you, but I say this is my personal experience. Most of the group in my organization now grow fantastically because they treat the both group, equal love. You only can apply this when you understand the law of contribution. So my friends, my message to you and me actually focus on build yourself. When you focus to build yourself, the purpose you want to build other. When you build other, you contribute. Like Jon C Maxwell say, how can you give if you don't have? This is correct. How can I give the know-how and knowledge if I don't have the know-how and knowledge? How can I build the character if I don't have the character? How can I build the leadership of the group if I don't build myself, for example, reading books, attending the function, meeting, and so on, and consultation, and so on. That is why I build. When I read books, I build. When I attend the training, I build. When I listen CD, I build myself. The purpose is not only build myself, but I build myself, then I give. So, my friends, keep on growing. Keep on giving. Become the river, like Jon C Maxwell say, become the river. It's not reservoir, okay? River, giving. Reservoir is receiving. So, supply, and supply. Contribute, and contribute. You will feel good. That's why the philosophy say, the more you give, the more you receive. It's totally correct. So I love this topic. I love this. If every networkers in this world, they really understand this philosophy, this law, just follow, apply it religiously. Just apply it religiously, then you see the result. I can say, fantastic. Just do it. Believe it. Because This is the experience from Jon C. Maxwell for his journey more than 40 years. This experience, I can say, is not only theory, based on his personal experience. Also based on my 20-something years, almost 25 years in this industry, I meet people, I talk to people. I understand a little bit that human tend to selfish. So, broaden the horizon, think bigger, and open the mind and receive something new. Learning every day, grow and grow and grow. You will be happy, my friends. Trust me, life is so beautiful when you have the giving heart. Contribute and contribute and contribute. Keep on learning, keep on growing, keep on giving. I love you.
Wow, not only did we get amazing takeaways, but we really learned how growth can be impactful in the network marketing industry. I'm always impressed by Onggy and his passion for growth. It's leaders like him that instigate change and make incredible impact in the industry. Onggy truly applies and lives out what it means to grow intentionally, and he attributes his success to his own investment in personal growth. Start being a better version of yourself. You can change where you are to where you want to be when you become passionate about your growth. And just do it. Like Jon said, growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow is going to get better. And I'll add this, tomorrow won't get better if you're always waiting to get started. You won't get there. Buy in on the dream and buy in on the action. Create a strategy for growth and do something about it right now. That's why Jon has partnered with these dynamic leaders and 45 additional leaders to create the 15 Laws of Growth online class with a concentration in network marketing. Throughout the 12 weeks, you'll learn the foundational laws from Jon and custom content created just for you to grow your business. And not only that, but you'll also hear from 60+ top leaders who are excelling in this industry. #1 income earners in the network marketing industry that have made a name for themselves. Let me tell you, these folks know how to sell. They know how to develop a business, they know how to create great teams, and they know how to grow. They're going to share their personal stories and insights with you throughout the class so you have practical mentorship alongside Jon's teachings. So like I said, it's a 12-week online class created to give you an intimate learning environment with a small group of engaged leaders just like you. Don't miss the chance to enroll. Click now to enroll and you receive a very, very special gift. Jon and these 60+ leaders have come together to create a scholarship for everyone who enrolls in the next 72 hours. The class only costs $395 for an entire 12-week semester. The scholarship that is being gifted to you is $100 off that enrollment. So you'll receive 12 weeks of personal growth and development with Jon Maxwell for only $295 instead of the regular price of $395 for your enrollment. That's only $20 per law. It's a great opportunity and it's a lifetime investment in your growth. Class starts January 3rd, but enrollment opens now for 72 hours. After 72 hours, this opportunity will close. Don't miss this incredible opportunity to grow. Think bigger than you and your downline and your upline. Jon's mission with this class and the 15 Laws of Growth is to transform the standard for leadership in the entire network marketing industry. As an industry where people are their own boss more than any other, personal growth is critical to developing character-driven, successful leaders. You are that kind of leader Jon wants to see transform this industry. So be part of the bigger mission while you experience massive personal growth, and let's transform the industry with better leaders together. Do it now to receive your $100 scholarship towards enrollment. Remember, growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow will get better. Make it better. Start with growth. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll see you and the thousands of other leaders in class starting in January.